Thank you. You may be seated. What a great day. Lots of good news going on, but especially good news with our graduates. It's wonderful to have something positive and exciting to celebrate. We do have to remind everybody that we are in a state institution, Truman State University, and we are required to wear face coverings. So all of those, please make sure you have it on correctly, covering your nose and mouth. We understand that it can be a little bit long of a ceremony, so if you need to take a break, go outside, go in the lobby, kind of move around a little bit, please do so. If we notice that folks are not wearing their face mask correctly, we'll stop the ceremony and give you time to get your face mask or face covering on. Once again, this is for Truman State University, who graciously allows us to use their facilities. And we did check with their president, and it is still the policy to do so. So we appreciate you doing that. Small price to pay when we think about the students in the donning of their PPE every day, several times a day, for over a year, and in harm's way that they often were. So I can see that a couple hours in a mask, we can do that, right? I think we can do it. So welcome. I'm Craig Phelps, president of ATSU University and a KCOM graduate from 1984. So a long, long, long time ago. I'd like to introduce Dr. Norman Gevitz, our Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs, who will give the official welcome and greeting. And once again, thank you for continuing to wear your mask. We appreciate it.
Good morning. Welcome to the 2021 Spring Commencement Exercises. Yes, behind this mask, I am Dr. Norman Gevitz, Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs for ATSU. This is a very special day in the lives of those receiving degrees from ATSU's Kirksville College of Osteopathic Medicine. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I thank you for joining us in honoring these outstanding graduates and recognizing their great achievement. Graduates, you now have the tools and capacity to make a difference in the lives of the people you serve. Congratulations. We are proud of you. We wish you the best, and we look forward to hearing from you as you go on to improve the well-being of all the people who you will serve in your communities. At this time, I invite Lisa Millar, OMS 2, to perform America the Beautiful.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for patriot dream that sees beyond the years, thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
It is my pleasure to introduce the Dean of the Kirksville College of Osteopathic Medicine, class of 1982, and Professor of Family Medicine, Preventive Medicine, and Community Health, Dr. Margaret Wilson.
Good morning, and thank you, Dr. Gevitz. Good morning to everyone, and welcome. What a great and joyous day. Today, we celebrate the graduates of the KCOM class of 2021. What an incredible and challenging year it has been. I'm so grateful that we're able to be here together to reflect and share in this celebration. Today, we honor and recognize the class of 2021. We acknowledge the hard work, challenges, and sacrifices they endured to get to this day. We are especially proud of the resilience and strength that they have shown during these difficult and uncertain times. Graduates, you are now ready to move into the next phase of your career. Your training has prepared you well to provide the best possible care to your patients. You will be sought out for your expertise and what you have to offer. You learn not just the skills and knowledge required to be a competent osteopathic physician, but you have cultivated the compassion and empathy that makes you a trusted healer. Class of 2021, I hope you realize the impact each of you will have on your patients, on your community, and on your profession. Remember your humble roots. Remember those who came before you, those who trained you, and remember you are the future of osteopathic medicine. Know where you stood at this time in history, on the front lines of healthcare, when your patients and the nation needed you most. Know how proud we are of all of you, and congratulations on your success today. At this time, I'd like to introduce our stage party, and as I call your name, please remain standing. Beginning on my far right, Colonel Todd Hune, class of 1999, U.S. Air Force Medical Corps Senior Flight Surgeon, and today's commencement ceremony speaker. Dr. Craig Phelps, class of 1984, President of A.T. Still University. Dr. Fareed Khalifallah, Associate Dean of Academic Affairs. Dr. Saroj Misra, class of 1998, Associate Dean of Clinical Affairs. On my left, Dr. Norman Gevitz, Senior Vice President of Academic Affairs of ATSU. Dr. Richard LeBaire, Associate Dean of Graduate Medical Education and today's Grand Marshal. And Dr. Patricia Sexton, Associate Dean of Curriculum. So please welcome our stage party. Now I'd like to introduce the most important people here today. The class of 2021, could you please stand and be recognized? You may be seated. I'd like to now introduce some very important other individuals here today. First, our outstanding KCOM faculty. Would you please stand? Now, our graduates who are members of the military, could you please stand? Thank you for your service. Could the parents and grandparents of the graduates please stand? Thank you for all the support you have given to our graduates and for entrusting them to us. It has been an honor and a privilege to have these young men and women learn with us, and we appreciate that. Now, spouses, partners, significant others, and children of the graduates, please stand. We honor and thank you for all your understanding and support over these long 4 years. I'd like also to extend a special thank you to Truman State University President Dr. Sue Thomas for her hospitality in sharing their facilities for our commencement this morning. So thank you, Truman State. So now it is my pleasure to introduce our honorary degree candidate and today's commencement speaker, Colonel Todd P. Hune. Colonel Hune, DO, MPH, is the Aerospace Medicine Division Chief for the Command Surgeon, Air Force Global Strike Command at Barksdale Air Force Base, Louisiana. As Division Chief, Dr. Hune oversees the aerospace medicine enterprise for 8 military treatment facilities in 9 wings with over 2,500 medical staff and 178,500 beneficiaries. Dr. Hune entered the Air Force Reserves in May of 1995 after receiving a direct commission as a second lieutenant in the Medical Service Corps. He recommissioned as a captain in the Active Duty Medical Corps in July 2002. Since that time, he has held numerous clinical and leadership positions at the United States Air Force and NATO medical facilities, as well as working with the Department of Defense Aerospace Medicine Liaison to NASA. Dr. Hune is board certified in family medicine and osteopathic manipulative treatment, as well as aerospace medicine and occupational medicine. He has numerous professional affiliations and has received a significant number of honors and awards, including the Meritorious Service Medal with 5 oak leaf clusters. A Wisconsin native, Dr. Hune earned his Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Wisconsin, La Crosse in 1995 and his Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine degree from the Kirksville College of Osteopathic Medicine in 1999. In 2009, he received his Master of Public Health degree from Harvard University. President Phelps and Colonel Hune, please join me at the podium. President Phelps, it is my honor and privilege to present to you Colonel Hune for the honorary degree, Doctor of Science in Osteopathy.
Colonel Hune, I think we're pretty safe today. It sounds like you can handle just about anything that happens. So we very much appreciate all that you have done for our country and representing KCOM and ATSU. The highest degree AT University of Health Sciences may confer is an honorary doctoral degree in recognition of superior commitment to osteopathic principles and for service to healthcare, medical education, scientific research, community service, and leadership in political or educational administration. Colonel Hune, on recommendation of Faculty Dean and Senior Vice President of Academic Affairs, and with the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I here confer upon you the honorary degree, Doctor of Science in Osteopathy, with all the rights, privileges, honors, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Congratulations, Colonel.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations, Colonel Hune, and I'm going to ask you now to come forward and give you another warm welcome as today's commencement speaker. So Dr. and Colonel Todd Hune.
Thank you. Faculty, family, friends, honored graduates, I want to tell you just how thankful I am to have this chance to share this day with you. I've had an unusual career. Now, in the NASA realm, we call that off-nominal because it sounds so much better than saying abnormal. So I've had opportunities to influence policy on an international level. I've sat the Surgeon's Console, Mission Control during missions, and I've worked with over 25 years in service to the country. And I don't say these things to boast or to brag about them, but I say them to give you perspective. Because I want to tell you right now that sharing in your moment and being here with you right now on this your graduation day is one of the highest honors of my career. In a few minutes, you're going to be physicians. Just let that sink in for a moment. It's not just a graduation. It's not just a title. It's a change in your identity. From now on, your first name is going to be doctor. You're going to change your signature to put a D-O at the end of it. Your identity changes. And in a few weeks after that, you're going to be unleashed on your patients. So if you are anything like I was 20 years ago, sitting in these seats right now, you're probably a little bit excited. You're probably a little bit terrified. And if you're anything like me, you're probably a little bit bored. Now, normally in a commencement address, this is the part where the speaker tells you what to expect over the next 20 years of your career. But like I said, I'm a little bit off nominal. So I'm going to ask, is there any way for me to know what the next 20 years of your career will hold? Is there any way I could have predicted the events of the last year? I mean, I didn't even know my own path 20 years ago, right? I mean, I knew early on as a child that I wanted to be a doctor. That was pretty much a given. My friends were playing firemen. I was the paramedic. Yeah. In 4th grade, I brought home a C in penmanship. My mom asked what I was going to do if I couldn't write legibly. I said, well, I'll just find a career where I don't have to. And at that point, it was pretty certain. But I had no idea what 20 years after that would bring. I had no idea that 20 years after performing my first stuffing transplant on my teddy bear, that I would be sitting here in this audience about to change my identity. And there was no way that I could have possibly known at the time I was sitting in these chairs that 20 years later, I'd be the one standing on stage talking. So if I didn't know what was going to happen in my own life, it's going to be pretty hard for me to guess what's going to happen in yours. But I do know this. I may not know what the next 20 years hold, but I know that there are some universal truths in medicine. And these transcend electronic medical records, video conferencing, and all of the other things that we deal with on a daily basis that we maybe couldn't have predicted when we started down our paths. And that is summed up in this. Medicine is a contact sport. Now, people talk about professional distance, but I want to talk to you for a moment about professional closeness. Because medicine isn't just about maintaining that distance. Now, when I say it's a contact sport, I don't mean just physical contact, right? Obviously, the power of touch cannot be overstated. OMM cannot be overstated. But I'm not talking just about the physical trials and tribulations, because let's be honest, you know those pretty well already. The long days, the even longer nights, the bagels and hard-boiled eggs at 3 a.m. in the hospital cafeteria. Yeah, we know those well. But it goes well beyond the physical. Now, I'll be honest with you, I tend to think and remember in stories, so if you'll indulge me for a minute, I'd like to tell you a story. As a resident, many years ago, I had a young lady. We're going to call her Emily for the sake of this story. Now, she stuck with me because she was one of the very first patients that I diagnosed with pregnancy. It was pretty exciting. Not only did I get to share in her prenatal care all the way through, but I got to really form that emotional closeness with her and with her boyfriend. He would come into these appointments smiling ear to ear, still wearing his stained mechanic's overalls, grease stains, the whole works, but you couldn't tell because he was so happy and she was so happy. They scrimped, they saved, they bought a little Doppler ultrasound at the pharmacy so they could listen to their baby's heartbeat together. I could not think of people that could make better parents than these two. I remember I saw them on a Friday morning, just the two of them together like always. It was exciting. She was 37 weeks along. I knew that my next call was going to be to OB to deliver this baby and welcome them into the world as parents. I was excited. And that evening, I got the call. She was at OB. But it wasn't the call that I wanted to get. A few hours after seeing me, she felt the baby stop moving. By the time she came in, she lost the pregnancy. I remember standing there with her boyfriend, in the room together, the three of us, holding each other, crying. Now, you may have an Emily of your own, and I'll tell you, even 20 years later, she will be with you. She'll remind you of the intimacy that you share in this career you're about to enter. Now, I'm not going to pretend that it's any easier to maintain that degree of professional closeness. It's hard to hug a patient over a video conference. There are going to be times when it's very hard for you to have that level of closeness, that level of connection with your patient. And I understand that. I've been in that situation myself. I've had patients that I'm conducting video conferences with. Well, they're 225 miles away in orbit, traveling at 17,000 miles an hour. It's hard to hug somebody when they're moving that fast. But even though we may not be able to connect physically, remember, osteopathy is about mind, body, and spirit. And so I knew when they were in orbit that we had that connection, because when they were training at Star City, I was helping make the meal for them, bringing it out. I was clearing the dishes so that they would able to mentor with some of the senior astronauts and crew. I was working in that way. In some way, humbling yourself, putting on that servant's robe, clearing the table, doing that to allow them to bond with their crewmates. And then when I hung up the phone, the video conference phone, I'd be on the phone with their family, talking with their family, assuring them that their loved ones are okay, that everything is going well. Everything was nominal. So there are many ways to form that bond. But I want to tell you one more story here. And this is the story of somebody that, to this day, I still don't know how she did it. But when I was a resident, again, resident stories are the best, aren't they? We had our director of medical education. Her name was Dr. Levine. She was an internist. She was the epitome of an internist. We used to call her Dr. Harrison, and not with an ounce of disrespect, because this woman could recite to you any page out of Harrison's. Brilliant, brilliant woman. Y'all wanted to be on her service, and it was a blessing, a little bit of a curse, because, if you were on her service, she would not slow down either physically or mentally. Your brain would be on fire by the end of the day, and you better be wearing running shoes. But I remember one day that she had me go in to talk to an elderly gentleman. We're going to call him James. So I sat down at James' bedside, introduced myself, said, "Hi, I'm Dr. Hugh, and I'm one of the resident doctors working with Dr. Levine. I'd like to ask you a few questions." He looked at me and grunted and looked away. Okay, that didn't really work so well. So I said, "Well, sir, if you don't mind, I'd like to conduct an examination. Is that all right?" He grunted at me and looked away. 2 for 2. Well, I did the rest the best I could. I went out there in the hallway, present the case to Dr. Levine. She looked at me and smiled and nodded. Said, let's go have a chat with Mr. James, shall we? And so she walked in there, didn't say a word, sat down in the bed with this fella that I said, antisocial, he doesn't want to talk to anybody. Sat down, put her hand on his knee, looked him in the eye and said, "I understand." And at that point, this fellow who didn't have more than 2 words from me broke down crying, confessed his life story to her. I would say that is probably when I learned one of the most valuable lessons I learned as a physician. And it's a lesson I've used countless times since then. It transcends EMRs, videos, even pandemics and masks. I don't believe this lesson will become obsolete in the next 20 years. And it's so simple that it's easy to forget. And that is this. A good doctor talks to their patient, but a wise doctor listens. Too simple, right? Good doctor talks to their patient, a wise doctor listens. It's all about that professional closeness, that listening and that connecting with your patient. I could give you more stories. I could talk to you about a fitness-obsessed fellow that I saw in the clinic. I listened when he told me that sometimes he felt a little stomach upset as he was working out. And I listened as the cardiothoracic surgeon couldn't believe how I identified that AAA that he needed immediate surgery for. The 6-year-old boy who'd been shuffled from specialist to specialist to specialist couldn't figure out why he always had pain when he urinated. I listened, and he told me exactly what was wrong. Solved it in a 20-minute moonlighting appointment. Or the young man dying of AIDS in the hospital. Nothing I could do. He was at the end. But he held my hand. He confessed things to me that he couldn't even tell his own partner. I may not have been able to save his life, but I was able to give him peace because I listened. Now, I said earlier that I can't predict what the next 20 years of your career is going to hold, and I still can't. But I can offer this. As you enter the next 20 years of your career, as you take your turn in the podium in front of the graduating class, I hope you remember those words. And I hope you never underestimate the power of a simple touch, a simple word, or simply sitting quietly and listening. And if you remember nothing else from this commencement talk, I hope that as you go on with your lives, you always strive not to just be a good doctor, but to be a wise one as well. May your journey be blessed, and once again, congratulations, doctors.
Thank you, Colonel Hune. Thank you for your service to our nation, to our profession, and we are so proud to call you a KCOM graduate, and I know you are going to inspire the next generation of our graduates. So thank you for being here today and for your wonderful presentation. So now, President Phelps, the candidates for the Master of Science in Biomedical Sciences has successfully completed the requirements for their degree. Upon recommendation of the faculty, I have the pleasure of presenting them to you at this time. Will the candidates for the Master of Science in Biomedical Sciences of the Kirksville College of Osteopathic Medicine please rise and proceed to the stage? Dr. Richard LeBaire will be presenting the members of the class of 2021 to receive their diplomas.
Katie Faubel. Brett Fromer. William Howell. Taryn Hughes.
It'll take a moment for them to get their photo taken and circulate back up front. So, Colonel Hune, thank you for those great words. And our patients teach us so much, and our families teach us so much. I can recall a patient of mine, Catherine, a patient in her 80s who came and saw me prior to that for quite a few years and got to the point where it was a little too far for her to travel. And she apologized, but she said, you know, you're a little far away, so I'm going to have to leave you at this stage of practice, but I'm wondering if you can do one thing for me. I said, Catherine, you bet. Whatever I can do, I'll do. She says, I have a small dog. It's like a Jack Russell Terrier. And when I pass away, will you take care of Blaze? And I said, absolutely, Catherine. I said, you're going to be around for a long, long time. So a few years later, I was at a mayor of Mesa meeting in a conference talking about some of the opportunities for ATSU in Arizona. And my pager went off that said, Catherine has passed away. Can you please come and pick up Blaze? She lived in an apartment, and the janitor had kind of helped her along and did some of the feeding of Blaze. And so I did what most of us would do. I called my significant other, Stacy, my better half, and said, remember a long time ago I talked about this dog that was kind of a joke? And she goes, yes. I said, could you please go pick up Blaze? And so she went to a large apartment complex, thought that she may not leave, right? It was kind of scary. and then let me know that Blaze jumped from the back of the Escape to the middle of the Escape to the front of the Escape the entire drive home. And at that time we didn't have children, so we had white sofas and a lot of white things in the house. But sometimes you never know what your patients are going to give you, right? They're going to give you that energy every day. They're going to give you the satisfaction of working as a team to solve different issues. They're going to cry in your office. They're going to celebrate in your office. They're going to invite you to weddings. They're going to invite you to graduations. They're going to invite you to many, many parts of the life that we're very privileged to spend part of. I can only imagine the thrill of working with folks orbiting the Earth and being available, 24/7 while those types of things are going on. But it's a great time. And then I'm reminded that, as physicians, we're kind of always put in our place from time to time. And whether it's our patients telling us, hey, you could do a lot better job. I remember when managed care came along and I was a little frustrated, and family told me, we're going to have to leave your practice because you've changed a lot. And of course, I ignored it, went on, maybe said a snide remark, well, maybe it's time that we part. But then I went home and I thought about it, and thought about it, and thought about it. And sure enough, they were right, and I had changed. So I made a concerted effort to approach each day differently, to be renewed and re-energized, and to not let managed care and insurance companies dictate my attitude and how we treat our patients. Of course, the patients stayed with us, and one of their daughters eventually graduated from our PA school in Arizona that I had taken care of when she was in first or second grade. So you never know those journeys that life is going to take you on. Very good. I think we have our final master graduate coming down. I'm going to have you stay standing. Sorry about that. I'll catch you standing. Will the master's graduates please stand up? Thank you, Dr. Wilson. I'm pleased to receive these candidates upon the recommendation of the faculty, dean, and senior vice president of academic affairs, and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees. I hereby confer upon each of you the degree Master of Science in Biomedical Sciences, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
President Phelps, the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine have successfully completed the requirements for their degree. Upon recommendation of the faculty, I have the pleasure of presenting them to you at this time. Will the first row of candidates please stand and proceed to the stage? Dr. Richard LeBaire will present the members of the class of 2021 to receive their diplomas.
Taylor Marlene Adams. Cameron Allen. Aman Amini. Matthew Anderson. Madeline Quinn Bartles. Arnad Bashu. Spencer Batten. Peyton Bennett. Kelsey Byer. Jared Bishop. Daniel Brannon. Samuel Brinson. Michael Hadley Brown, Jr. Abigail Brownell. Lauren Bukal. Molly Burke. Ethan Burlingame. Michael Canova. Morgan Cassidy. William Boyce Cates. Brittany Chambers. Renee Chen. Nathan Clark. Jacob Culver. Jesse Cooper. Maurice Dale. Mallory Dameron. Christian Mainani de Souza. Megan Deppewolf. Parav Desai. John DeWard. Ben Driving Hawk. Heather Edwards. Tara Eichner. Taylor Ernest. Tanner Everhart. Joseph Ferry. Lauren Ford. Dawson Foster. Alex Glogosa. Joshua Gonzalez. Kelsey Goodwin. Sarah Gorn. Dale Zachary Salioan Gozum. Christina Grant. Malia Gumpert. Miranda Deitmeyer. Ryan Haig. Nathaniel Hansen. Carolina Hartchie. Jordan Hatch. Andrew Hellman. Curtis Heron. Han Ho. Brittany Hubbard. Paravir Hundal. Joshua Jagoginski. Aman Jan. Shelby Jacoy. Leslie Johnson. Taylor Keene. Reshma Kuna. Skylar Kinsey. Ricky Kobler. Katie Krall. Harlow Ladd. Crystal LaFleur. Kirby Lamp. Martin Larson. Trent Ledbetter. Heather Michelle Lee. Ryan Lee. Talena Leonard. Simone Lucas. Ashley Maitland. Olivia Morosas. Alexis Marufo. August Martin. Casey McDonald. Michael McDowell. Benjamin Merrill. Rex Mitich. Joshua Ryan Miller. Lauren Miller Gifford. Coral Molina. Carrie Elizabeth Montgomery. John Morrison. Alyssa Matzel. Brandon Matzel. Matthew Douglas Murphy. Beck Nelson. Christopher Noti. Amanda Oliver. Kyle Oney. Ronnie Otieno. John Dylan Pate. Richard Peterson. Cynthia Fan. Taryn Phillips. Ethan Porter. Carly Proctor. Adam Putnam. Nicola Raddick. Amr Razak. Morgan Reeve. Robert Ring. Emily Rogers. Adam Russell. Sherry Sabawe. Brianna Santiago. Jordan Schumacher. Casey Scott. Rachel Scott. Anthony Ciego. Sophia Siddiqui. Ashley Sims. Michael Smith. Jordan Snook. Cody Sprague. Justin Stacer. Maxwell Edward Stevens. Emma Strode. Daniel Tambacucci. Marley Thomas. Molly Thompson. Justin Torres. Grace Triska. Madison Venn. Molly Sikora Walkenhorst. Michaela Wallace. Blaze Waller. Jordan Weber. Peter Weitzel. John Weisler. Paul Wilkerson. Molly Wilson. Danielle Wood. Joshua Wood. Sarah Zion. David Zettler. Lynn Zwan. In addition to those graduates present at today's ceremony, we would like to recognize our graduates who are participating virtually. Luke Anderson. Sean Barrett. Andrew Beckett. Kenneth Bridgman. Rebecca Corbett. Roxanne Gillum. Max Goodsell. Zachary Hansen. Michelle Hintz. William Hoover. Paige Johnson. Jack Comro. Robert Lemmy. Kyle Long. Mary Lowe. Monica McCarr. Peter McCarr. Jacob Manier. Macy Manier. Tyler Murphy. Rachel Nelson. Damian Olajarski. Jennifer Olivares. Caroline Simmons. Jessica Skelton. Alec Stankey. Brian Van Dries. Thomas Woodyard.
Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine graduates, please stand. Upon the recommendation of the Faculty Dean and Senior Vice President of Academic Affairs, and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine, with all the rights, privileges, honors, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Congratulations, doctors. Great. Graduates, if you'll remain standing, everybody else may be seated. And if we have any osteopathic physicians in the audience or the faculty, we invite you to stand as Dr. Wilson administers the osteopathic oath.
So you'll be reading along with me from page 22 of your program. I do hereby affirm my loyalty to the profession I am about to enter. I will be mindful always of my great responsibility to preserve the health and the life of my patients, to retain their confidence and respect, both as a physician and a friend who will guard their scriptures with scrupulous honor and fidelity, to perform faithfully my professional duties, to employ only those recognized methods of treatment consistent with good judgment and with my skill and ability, keeping in mind always nature's laws and the body's inherent capacity for recovery. I will be ever vigilant in aiding in the general welfare of the community, sustaining its laws and institutions, not engaging in those practices which it will in any way bring shame or discredit upon myself or my profession. I will give no drugs for deadly purposes to any person, though it be asked of me. I will endeavor to work in accord with my colleagues in a spirit of progressive cooperation and never by word or by act cast imputations upon them or their rightful practices. I will look with respect and esteem upon all those who have taught me my art, To my college, I will be loyal and strive always for its best interests and for the interests of the students who will come after me. I will be ever alert to further the application of basic biologic truths to the healing arts and to develop the principles of osteopathy, which were first enunciated by Andrew Taylor Still. Congratulations, graduates. And graduates, if I could ask you one more time to recognize your faculty. So graduates, please remain standing for just a little bit longer here. As a member of the ATSU-Kirksville Osteopathic Alumni Association, and by the authority vested in me by the A.T. Still University Alumni Association, it is my pleasure and privilege to induct you formally as individuals and as a graduating class into membership of the A.T. Still University Alumni Association and the Kirksville Osteopathic Alumni Association. On behalf of other university alumni worldwide, it is my pleasure and privilege to congratulate you now as the newest members of the A.T. Still University Alumni Association. Congratulations, you may be seated. And as we get ready to conclude our commencement ceremony, I'd like to invite President Phelps back to the podium for a final farewell.
Thank you, Dr. Wilson. And once again, congratulations, graduates. Boy, a lot of work went into today, work that you put in, your family put in for many, many, many years. Our folks in Kirksville had to make a little change, as you know, in venue and worked hard to make sure that we had a welcoming environment and a beautiful ceremony today. So I'd like to thank Kelly Kirkland and all the folks that worked with our graduation committee, our IT folks, our academic administration folks, our communications and marketing, and many, many other folks at the university who helped us kind of pivot to this indoor opportunity. So thank you to all of you at the university who helped do this today. Graduates, today is one of the most important days of your personal and professional life. In several minutes, when you walk through those doors for the rest of your life, you will wear the mantle of a healer. More importantly, those sitting before you, next to you, and behind you will support and continue to support you throughout your career as you dedicate yourself to the most noble of all callings. You have what our nation needs, and in fact, what our world needs. As our founder, Dr. A.T. Still emphasized in his works, finding disease is fairly simple, but helping our patients find health, that is our true mission. No one is better prepared than you. No one can do it better than you. Opportunities you have yet to dream of await you to seize and realize. Our future is in your hands. Until we meet again, congratulations and Godspeed.